What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the After Prison Show. And in this video, we will be talking about a man who has just been found guilty and had a jury recommend 132 years for stealing the tires and rims off of a couple of vehicles. I know this sounds absolutely ridiculous, and that is just what it is. Sometimes you get arrested and you get sentenced to an unbelievable amount of time, no matter what the circumstances may be. But that is what we will be talking about on this episode of the After Prison Show.
You know, I really should be doing voiceover work for Disney. Disney also just dropped Jake Paul.
Disney, please come get your boy. I will do voiceover work for any upcoming feature films.
It is After Prison Show with that non-Disney Channel flow. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and we are back home. We traveled for 16 hours on Friday to go shoot 2 monster videos, one going back to my old prison, my old place where I used to be at, where the 7-year prison sentence actually began for me, and then also the big time interview video we did with Austin. And real quick, special shout out to him for having the bravery and the courage to come forward to tell his story for all of us here on After Prison Show. But in this video, we're getting back on the grind. There is a hell of a lot of things that we need to talk about here, and we're gonna begin all of that today with an absolute crazy story. I'm gonna be telling you about a guy from the good old state of Virginia who just went to court for stealing the tires and rims off of a bunch of vehicles
And had the jury recommend 132 years for those charges.
How in the hell are you about to get sentenced to 132 years for some theft charges? Well, we're going to talk about all of that in this video, and I'm going to give you guys a lot of information that you probably had no idea about in relation to going to court and also trial. So with all of that being mentioned, what do you say? I mean, really, what do you say?
What do you say we go ahead and
dive
head first into this video?
I really have no idea what that accent is supposed to be. Please tell me what you think it sounds like. Is it Hispanic? Is it French? I don't know. Now, before we go ahead and tell the story about this guy who just went to court and received this unbelievable jury recommendation of time, we need to do a little traveling.
Attention all passengers, please buckle your seatbelt and prepare for liftoff. We now are traveling from Chesapeake, Virginia, going to Loudoun County, Virginia as well.
Where these court proceedings just took place was in an area called Loudoun County, Virginia. And in Loudoun County, Virginia, 38-year-old James L. Brooks just went to trial for a bunch of theft-related charges. In fact, this guy had 6 counts of grand larceny. Grand larceny is where you steal something valued at $200 or more. Also, 6 counts of larceny with intent to sell whatever it is that you stole. 3 counts of destruction of property. And also 3 counts of tampering with an automobile. Now, when you first hear these charges, they don't really sound like too much. A couple of theft charges, stealing some stolen things, breaking into a couple of cars, messing up a few cars as well. How in the hell could this possibly constitute a jury recommending this guy to 132 years in prison? Well, folks, I'm going to break this down for you the best way that I can, giving it to you from all of the experience that I have being on
the other side of the law.
But first, I want to paint a little bit of the background to this guy's case leading up to this jury recommendation of an ungodly amount of time. These charges that James L. Brooks was just found guilty of stem from a bunch of thefts that they say plagued Loudoun County, Virginia last year. And it was during these thefts that tires and rims were stolen off of multiple cars in Loudoun County, and these cars were then left literally sitting on cinder blocks. And I'm guessing that during this time, police had no idea who was doing this. That was until James L. Brooks, age 38, was pulled over driving a white Bronco. I mean, a white Ford Explorer, not a Bronco. I don't know why I was thinking about a white Bronco. I don't know. It probably has a lot to do with all of this OJ stuff taking place in the news lately.
OJ Simpson!
Yeah, again, a white Ford Explorer. James L. Brooks was pulled over in New Jersey driving a white Ford explorer. And the story doesn't really state why this guy was pulled over. Who the hell knows why? But when he was pulled over, I'm guessing police found some sort of probable cause to search this guy's vehicle. And while doing so, you would never believe what the hell they found inside of it. Cinder blocks, moving blankets, a floor jack, and also tire and rim removing tools. You know, this is just a good rule of thumb to any criminals out there. God knows I used to be one. But if you are out there doing dumb shit, it's usually a good idea not to ride around with things that could possibly implicate you in whatever that dumb shit is that you're doing. Seeing all of these things that police discovered in this man's vehicle, I'm sure they were pretty curious as to what this guy was up to. He was then arrested, and somewhere along the way with all of that, they obtained search warrants to go search this man's storage locker back in Loudoun County, Virginia, where they found even more damning evidence to tie this guy to these car thefts of tires and rims out there in the good old country land of Loudoun County, Virginia. While searching James Brooks' storage unit, police found personal property belonging to one of the victims of one of the cars that had been vandalized, having the wheels and rims removed from that car and then being left on cinder blocks. Can you imagine waking up in the morning, walking outside, yeah, it's time to go to work. Where in the are my wheels at? It would appear your car has been theftilized. Police found personal property belonging to one of the victims as well as bags of lug nuts, all sorts of different lug nut keys, and then the greatest discovery of them all. Police actually found business cards in this man's storage unit that said, Jay's Deals on Wheels. Can you imagine receiving a business card from a guy? He comes up to you, he sees your car doesn't have any Lamborghinis on it, any wheels and rims on it, and he comes up to you and he says, hey, I noticed your car right here doesn't really have any feet on it. You know, I specialize in getting any kind of rim and wheel deals that you could ever want. Here, go ahead and take my business card right here. Jay's Deals on Wheels. Give me a call anytime. Literally 24/7. I'm usually up pretty late at night. So, you know, it really was the police finding all of this concrete evidence, no pun intended, all of this concrete evidence that really had them ready to take this guy to court and to trial to see if they could convict this guy of these thefts that plagued Loudoun County pretty much all of last year. And that's what they attempt to do next. This guy is sitting in jail. He's facing 6 counts of grand larceny, 6 counts of larceny with intent to distribute those stolen items, 3 counts of destruction of property, 3 counts of tampering with a vehicle. This guy is sitting on all sorts of charges in this jail. Now, let me tell you something that you may not know about going to trial. Did you know that when you are charged with crimes and you're going to trial for those crimes, that you do have 2 choices? And those 2 choices are that you can choose to have a bench trial, meaning that you're going to be going to trial and it's going to be a judge who decides whether or not you're guilty or innocent. Or you can choose the alternative, which is you can have a jury trial. You may already have known that, but a lot of people probably don't know that when you go to court, you can choose whether you want to be tried by a judge or tried by 12. Tried by 1 or tried by 12. Now, when people have pretty crazy charges, in a lot of cases, they're going to choose to take the jury trial. And the reason that they do that is because in their minds, in their feeble little criminal minds, they're thinking that it's going to be harder to convince 12 people that you're guilty of whatever you're being charged with and tried for right there than it would be to be found guilty by only one. That sole proprietor, Mr. Judge, sitting right there listening to all of the damning concrete evidence against you. Well, Mr. James L. Brooks, Mr. Jay's Deals on Wheels, decided it would be a better alternative to go with that jury trial instead of a judge trial. Now, really, I can't honestly tell you how this would have worked out, whether he would have decided to take the judge or with what he decided to do, taking the jury. I can't honestly tell you if it would have been any better for him. But I can tell you this. Before you go into your trial, your lawyer is going to come see you. If you've got a court-appointed lawyer, you're probably not even going to see this guy until you're actually sitting in the bullpen waiting to come out into the courtroom. It's only going to be then and there that this guy comes to talk to you, to tell you,
hey, look, you're not looking so good inside of this courtroom. The prosecutor, he wants to bury you, and it's probably going to be a good idea to take the plea bargain. And by the way, the plea bargain, it is for 25 years.
And that's pretty much exactly what happens when you have a court-appointed lawyer. He's going to come back there, he's going to tell you, hey, look, it's not looking too good for you, but they do have a plea bargain for you, and it's 25 years. Now, real quick, before I go any further, I want to throw in one other additional little piece of information about going to a trial. And that is that if your lawyer comes back and tells you that they have a plea bargain, or if anywhere along the line you find out about a plea bargain and you decide to accept that plea bargain for no matter how much time it is, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 25 years, no matter how much time is on that plea bargain, if you decide to sign that deal, you can never appeal that. You can't. You can never appeal if you decide to take a deal.
You can never appeal if you decide to take the deal.
That's one of the number one stipulations of a plea bargain. And I'm quite sure this is exactly what happened to James L. Brooks. He was probably sitting in the bullpen waiting to go into the courtroom. His public defender or whoever his lawyer was came back, said, hey, look, here's the plea deal they have for you. It's 25 years. Do you want it? And he probably said, absolutely not. I think I'll take my chances out there with 12 trying to find me guilty instead of signing my life away for 25 years. James L. Brooks went into the courtroom, had a trial that lasted for 3 days, and after that 3-day trial, the jury came back with a guilty verdict on all charges and also a sentencing recommendation of 132 years. In fact, it was a little bit more than 132 years. The actual recommendation that the jury gave was 132 years plus 63 months in jail, which comes up to an additional 5 years and 3 months in a jail. I mean, to do 5 years in a jail would be like doing 132 years in a prison. I mean, not literally, but time in jail is a hell of a lot worse and also slower than being in any prison whatsoever. Time actually flies while in prison compared to being in jail. But then again, if you have 132 years plus 5 years and 3 months, your time is really just not going to be moving very fast at all, no matter where you're at. The jury recommended 132 years plus 63 months in jail plus a $6,000 fine. Again, I have no idea why people get fined when they're going to be spending the rest of their life in prison. Do you honestly think that when they get to prison and they get their little state job making 27 cents an hour, that they're going to think about paying those court fines with that $22 a month that they're making with that state job? I think not. But just because the jury made this recommendation of this time, that is not actually the time that he's going to be serving. At least not yet. Because he still has to go to sentencing, which is going to take place in October, and it's going to be there where the judge is going to sentence him to however much time he will have to serve. But there is a major catch, and that is the fact that usually whatever a jury recommends is pretty much verbatim for what that judge is going to sentence that guy to. And I guess the only good thing that can come from this is the fact that because he didn't take that 25-year plea, which is what I'm guaranteeing they came at him with if they even offered him a plea at all. Sometimes when you have a bunch of charges and when they say that you've been plaguing an area for over a year, they may not even offer you a plea. They may just literally be trying to bury you underneath the prison. Because he didn't take the plea and he went to trial, the only good thing that can come from this is the fact that he could potentially appeal this. But there's no telling how long that will take. It could literally take him years to get back into the court, and that's only if he's got a good enough reason to get back in the court. He'll probably try to appeal saying, that's too much damn time for those charges. But even if he is granted an appeal, I doubt it's going to do anything for him because let's just add this in there as well. This guy does have just a little bit of a criminal history. Charges that he's been convicted of that include possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, 2 counts of that, assault, and also unlawful imprisonment, which is pretty much verbatim for abduction, holding somebody against their will in whatever form or fashion it would have been. I mean, that could literally mean like grabbing a girl by her arm or somebody by their arm and saying, "You're not going anywhere. Where are you going?" That's abduction, or also unlawful imprisonment. So because of the fact that he does have somewhat of a criminal past and it's also a little violent, I'm quite certain he's not going to be able to appeal any of this. And last, there is a final huckleberry to all of this. And a huckleberry is like what's going to ultimately do you in. And for old James L. Brooks, he's most certainly got a little bit of a huckleberry on his hands. And what exactly that would be is the fact that not only did he just go to trial for all of these charges in Loudoun County, he also faces identical charges in Fairfax County, Prince William County, both of these 2 counties also in the state of Virginia, and also in New Jersey as well. This guy has to go through 3 more trials for stealing the rims and tires off of some cars. Jay's Deals on Wheels, I wonder if this guy's on Yelp. I'd certainly like to see what the reviews are.
Hey look, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you thought about it. As always, until next time, please enjoy life, the free world, never take a moment for granted, and make the most of every day.
Peace!